Taylor, welcome to Office Hours. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
You guys, everyone welcome Taylor. I got some feedback that you guys were like, explain in detail how you know each of the guests that come on. So Taylor is an incredible podcaster, radio host, amazing influencer, like so good at influencing.
Very generous. I am the world's worst influencer.
You're not. You're an incredible influencer. And I think we were online friends for ages, but we actually met at IRL because of Claudia.
Yes, of course. All roads lead back to Claudia.
All roads lead back to Claudia. She is the glue. She is the connector. But I had followed you, loved your content. I think I followed you through Stassi or something like that.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Then we finally met, and it was like, you're the easiest person to get along with.
Oh my
You're
God,
the easiest person
you.
to talk to. And I texted Claudia after the You Beauty dinner, which you so kindly came to, and I was like, Taylor Strecker is a gift. And she was like, I know, right? She speaks so highly of you. It's so fun when you're like, wow, this person must be incredibly dope. And then they're actually that dope. And that's you.
Oh my God. This means the world.
You're fantastic. Your wife is fantastic. I love hanging out with you. And you're just so easy to talk to. And I'm so excited to pod today because, I mean, everybody who I've had on is great, but like, we can yap. We're yappers,
Girl,
you know?
You can't shut me the fuck up.
Truly, we're yappers. And there have been some breaking Housewives and Bravoverse stories that we must absolutely discuss today.
Yes.
But first, I have little warm-up questions. Not that you need them, but I do like to do them just because it's like I'm nosy. What was the best thing you ate this week?
So I just did a live event. I have not done a live event in, I can't tell you how long. Mm-hmm. So we were in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Oh my God, fun.
Yeah. So my podcast is called Taste of Taylor, and I actually hate the name and I've been wanting to change it.
No, I like it.
Well, thank you, because now we're doing these like live events called Taste with Taylor, and I'm like, wait.
So it's like with food?
With food,
that's
with wine,
genius.
with like whatever.
Wait, I love that.
So I'm like, this is embarrassing. I am the biggest Dave Matthews Band fangirl. I'm aging myself.
Love.
And so we were at his vineyard in Charlottesville, Virginia. Anyway, so when we were down there, we ate, and I had the best wings of my life.
I love wings.
And my wife is from Philly, so we're like wing connoisseurs.
Right.
It was fried and duck confit. Girl, I've never in my life they're ruined. I have to move there. They're so good.
And was there a dipping sauce?
I just want a buffalo, straight up.
No, same.
But I want it to come dry, and then I want to control it.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay, interesting.
So much wetness.
You don't like that? You're not a saucy person?
I'm not a saucy person.
That's so interesting.
I give sauce.
No, I like my food to be absolutely drowning in like I can't eat it unless it's sort of a stew and it needs hot sauce, and like I'm disgusting. Like I meant that I like a buffalo wing and then I'm going to fully submersible the wing into ranch or blue cheese in a disgusting way, like in a way where it's just like I'm spooning it in. So it's honestly gross, but I love wings.
It's a vehicle for the sauce.
I know, and good wings are so hard to come by.
They really are.
And sometimes you want a really good wing and you're craving it, and if you don't get it, it's one of the most disappointing.
Oh.
I love a wing. I really do. I had some good wings on Friday, actually. I went to Maryland for a wedding.
Down south.
Yes. And we stopped at this like crab shack place, and I was like, I'm going to get wings. And they were like, my friends were like, we're literally in Crabland. And I was like, we can get that too, but I would like to try the wings.
I saw that.
And they were amazing. They were honestly so good. Cause sometimes you can just read a place and you're like, you can fuck up a wing.
Yes.
You know how to fry a tiny little chicken leg covered in fat and make it delicious. And it was so good. It was honestly incredible. And now we're having Diet Cokes in glass bottles, which you appreciate.
It's giving rich.
Mm-hmm. It's wealthy.
I feel like a queen.
It's fantastic. So what happens at these events? Tell us. Like people, you kiki, you talk.
So it was my first ever.
Oh,
so it was a shit show.
And did you produce it? I always want to do more events, but I'm like always so stressed because I'm a very disorganized person. So I like it stresses me out. So like tell us the deets.
So basically it was like, okay, we know we're going to do wine tasting. Mm-hmm. We know we're going to do like Q&As.
That's so fun.
And then we know we're going to do like meet and greet. Like I get it. Like that's kind of like the draw.
Yes.
It's like, right? It's like the picture and the chit chat, whatever.
Right.
But it was a 2-hour event. So I had to fill the first hour with like wine tasting, but I'm like, you know what? That's not the vibe. Like we're more fun than that.
Right.
And so I kind of turned it into this like Q&A / comedy show.
Right.
Which no one asked for.
No, I'm sure they loved it.
But I provided.
I know, it's always so interesting. And like, let's break the fourth wall and really talk about this for a second, because I often have the urge to do like more kind of casual things with my community where I'm like, let's all like go get a drink or something.
Literally.
But my issue is that I want to give give time to everybody who comes, but it's so hard to not turn it into like meet and greet line vibes. And I think it's because it's normal. And it's like, I'm saying this because I want to work it out like as a group, and I'm so open to suggestions. But every time I've done it, it's just become like, everybody wants to have their time and moment and like whatever. And I get that. But I wish that there was a way to make it more casual where we could literally just chill for a couple hours and like vibe out. And I don't know how to do that.
I know. So I used to do a ton of live events.
Yeah.
And like I would go to, it was actually my co-host Kenny would do like comedy shows, and I would just kind of stick around for like pictures afterwards.
Yeah.
But what we realized was when it was like a mingling environment, this squeaky wheel gets the oil. So like there's like 3 to 5 people that will, without even realizing it, bless their hearts, monopolize your time.
I know.
And then all the other people are like, it's just not fair to them.
Totally.
So even though like the line feels so formal,
it's like at least fair.
It at least like gets everybody a fair opportunity. And then I like to do a mingle if there's time after.
Yeah, I think that's right. I have done these rich mom walks and they're so fun. And I like it because there's like a thing that we do, like we're walking.
I fell in love with you with rich mom content.
I need to bring it back.
Oh, it's so
I need to bring it back. I know it's like, it's so much pressure. People are like, why haven't you done one? And I'm like, because it got to a point where there was so much pressure on them. And now I'm like paralyzed. I have one written. I actually have Toronto written. I feel like I should just fucking rip it and do it.
Do it.
But it's just like, there's so much. Oh my God.
What is it? Is it the pressure to do like people like
it's just the pressure to do it like, I don't know. It's bizarre. I'm such an in my head person. I just get scared and I'm like, oh my God, what if people don't want them anymore? Like, what if people, I don't know, whatever. But I think I should just rip it. But I do these rich mom walks. I haven't done it in a while. I really want to. And they work pretty well. But still, again, like you said, I feel like the people who are less shy always come to the front and they get their time. And then I'm like, I never want to leave anyone out. But then I also feel awkward as fuck being like, okay, everybody gets a turn or everyone gets it. Like, I don't want that either.
Right.
So I just want to make like an absolutely chill environment where it's like we vibe and we drink and like party together, which is like why I do also like, I don't know what the answer is.
We are intelligent women. We can do this.
We can do this. We can work this out.
Execute a formula.
I have a potentially big rich mom walk coming. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Steve. That's correct. I do. Okay, what was the most annoying part of your week? Normalize complaining and bitching. Tell us. Let off some steam.
Okay, so the most annoying part of any week for me is putting makeup on and doing my hair.
You look really pretty today.
Thank you.
You look gorgeous.
I've like made my wife be my makeup artist and hair person.
I love it.
It's like getting abusive. She's managing me now full time.
Oh, wait, I love that.
It's psychotic though. Like Tinx, I'm getting out of control. Like I can feel myself.
Why?
Like being demanding.
And she's like, okay.
And I'm like, she keeps putting up with it, but like there's gonna come a time where she's like, you're disgusting and annoying and I hate you.
No, I think it's really cool when couples can work together. I think that's amazing. Who knows you better than your wife? Like
exactly. And who gives a shit more?
And who cares about you more and like genuinely knows your dreams and your hopes and has your best interest at heart.
It's true.
That's like the best. That's honestly the best. I think a lot of people choose to work with family because it's, that's like, you can only trust your family at the end of the day. Like seriously.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay. So you're putting on makeup, but she's now on top of managing you. She's
right on top of that, Rose.
She's okay.
She's all over. But I will say like, I like missed the how to do your hair and makeup memo or was it like people got pulled aside during, I don't know,
I literally only know how to do it a little bit because of TikTok, because I'm masquerading as a Gen Z because of how much time I spend on TikTok. The only reason I know how to do it is because I'm literally on there brain rotting for hours a day being like, oh, and that's where the eyeliner goes. It doesn't go okay. So that is kind of how I've learned. And you know what, I'll give them credit. The makeup influencers on TikTok are actually amazing. And then I look and then they're like, anyway, I have to go to high school. And I'm like, oh, you're genuinely 15 and I just learned how to do a full bake from you. Okay, sick, cool. Me 33 being like, oh, I'm learning so much from someone who is just going to AP Physics. So excelente. What songs would be played on a loop in hell for you? Like if I was trying to torture you.
Fucking JoJo Siwa.
Oh, Karma? I know.
I hate it.
I like it. I'm kind of a JoJo stan.
I'm dead. For real?
I would never put on the song, but I kind of love that she's like an old school celebrity in that she does exactly what the fuck she wants.
True.
She's so random. Like she's so like performative. She's like turning up in like Kiss outfits and like she's actually giving kind of like what I love to get from a celebrity, which is like psychotic. And so for that reason, I have no choice but to stand.
I think maybe it's the dance that really sends me over the edge. And now I can't unsee it.
No, I know.
They're one and the same.
And that would be a tough song to hear on loop for sure. Yeah. That's a toughie. Yeah.
I feel like she is my algorithm.
She's really on the algorithm, but she kind of like gets what needs to be done,
She's a Delulu queen.
And we
and
love
we
a
know
Delulu.
We stand a Delulu queen.
We do.
I could use more delusion in my life.
Same. Like, I want to be completely delusional. I'm too real. Like, I don't like that. I want to have the confidence of a mediocre white man. Like, that's what I'm manifesting. Like, I want to be fully, like, delusional. Like, I want to be so psychotically, like, I'm amazing for doing nothing. Yes. Like, that's what I want. Instead, I, like, work so hard and I try so hard and I'm still, like, crying myself to sleep every night.
Me too.
And I'm like, why do we do this? Like, it's so random.
Spiral so hard. I live in the land of Spiral. Like, I can't take any more medication to help me.
Literally, we live in the land of Spiral. Like, come to visit us. We are the mayor and the president of the land of Spiral. It's so funny, and it just does feel so gendered. Sorry to say that, but like,
it's true.
Every single girl that calls my show, every single DM I get, it's like, I'm not doing good enough. I'm not gonna be okay. And I'm like, you're all amazing. Like, you're all literally crushing. You need to just take a breather because this is crazy. Okay, so we're gonna dive into a couple pop culture stories. I know you are well versed on all of these, but I tried to pick some interesting ones just so we could have some heated debates, hopefully. Although we'll probably agree on everything. So this was crazy. So Lily Allen says that her husband, David Harbour, controls what apps she has on her phone. So Lily Allen shares that she and her husband, David, can see what apps each other has on their phone. Yep. I now have a kid's phone called a Pinwheel. It has no browsing capability and no social media, but you can still have Uber and Spotify. My husband is the caregiver on it, so he controls what I'm allowed to have as an app on the phone. I'm the controller of his as well. Smartphones are evil. They've ruined the creative side of her brain, blah, blah, blah. And she's saying that it's horrendous that they're designed to be so addictive. Thoughts?
So I actually, at its core, agree.
No, same.
Like, phones are I'm so addicted. I mean, the way I wake up in the morning and I just go right to Instagram, it's psychotic.
I agree. I think it's like two issues, and I wish, I mean, she can say whatever she wants, but I wish she hadn't led with my husband controls my phone, because I'm like, well, that everybody's going to pick that up for clickbait, as I did. Right. But, I wish she hadn't led with that. I don't really know why it would matter, like, for him to see what apps she has on there. That's a secondary story. We can talk about that in a second, but I completely agree. And I actually want to talk about this because the phone addiction is so bad right now for me. Control. It's out of control.
Me too.
It's bad when I literally will sit down to watch a Bravo show and I'll say, I'm going to watch this without my phone as like a test, like to really see if I can do it, as if I'm trying to train myself to be able to watch a hour, not even hour, like 50-minute show of one of my favorite shows.
Correct.
Without checking my phone.
Yes.
That's how you know it's really bad.
I'm with you, because Bravo requires like so much attention from
You
me.
really have to like, otherwise you're like, wait, I missed that thing she said, in like all Bravo versus like in the details.
They can say so much, like with even like a look.
No,
so it's like,
totally.
It's not even just listening. You gotta watch. I even have my notes out to
take notes.
Yes.
No, literally.
But then my phone's in my hand.
I know.
And the way, even like dumb stuff like Wordle. Like, why do I need to play Wordle in the middle of watching this show that I love?
I know, it's so bad.
It's bad.
It's that. It's the fact that I'll fully do two screens. Sometimes, like, I'll be watching and I'll be on TikTok. Like, that's not okay. And then it's exactly what you said. It's like, sometimes I control myself and like have, self-respect, but I usually wake up and I go right on. And they've said, they're like, you're like 10 more times likely to be depressed and sad if you do that. And I'm like, I can't stop now. It's in a really bad phase. I do feel that when I'm like stressed, I go to it more, but then it just makes it worse. But like,
yep. It's like, I want to feel validated. So let's go to the one place that's probably not going to happen.
I know. And so
bad.
And so what's your screen time?
I'll look right now. It's been really high lately because I've been like working, but like it's still bad and you're still on like,
I know.
And I'm also like, how often am I really working? I tell myself it's work.
I tell myself, people are like, well, you're on your phone for work. And I'm like, I'm shopping online most of the time,
This
girl.
is embarrassing. How do I get to my screen time?
I think pull down the thing and type screen time, maybe.
What thing?
Like, go down and do the search bar. Like, no, like the other one. Scroll up.
Just do it.
It just tells me every.
I know. It usually just pops up at random when like I'm least expecting it.
Oh, it's a little lower than mine. 8 hours and 29.
Okay, that's what it pretty much averages. What's yours?
Mine is sometimes like 10 or 11. It's psycho. And it's okay, but here's my other question. I really want to dig into this. Do you actually think that we can ever go back and change it? And B, do you think it matters?
That's such a great question.
I feel like this is the hardest for millennials because we lived through like the phone revolution.
Yep.
And so I feel like we have a strong association with our childhood, good, less phones,
correct,
blah. And then now we feel like the world is so chaotic, where everyone's stressed, depression and anxiety have gone up bad.
Yes.
But I just don't see a world in which we are able to scale it back, because even if you do like small personal wins, like the phone is just designed to be more and more like Lily Allen is right, it's literally designed to be addictive.
She's correct.
And it's only going to get worse.
You know, I feel like, okay, I remember when I was growing up, like, I mean, I really remember the, what is it, analog world, pre-digital.
Yes, same.
So, but TV was that thing in my house, and my parents were really crazy about it, but I loved it so much. And I remember when I went to school for communications, and one of my teachers was like, no books for this class, you need a premium cable package. And so I went to my parents, I'm like, I need HBO, that's my book. But like, they were like, it's so interesting because now in hindsight they're like, well, your TV obsession was actually a good thing,
right?
And I kind of feel like that's what this is going to be for this generation. And also, like, my parents can't even get on their Netflix. So who's really failing? You know what I mean?
Totally. I know it's so crazy that TV used to be the bad thing, and that, you know, it's so crazy that, I mean, again, aging myself, but remember that thing when we were younger and our parents would be like, if you watch too much TV, your eyes will go square.
Yes.
And it's like, that used to be the craziest bad thing that we could do. And it was such a treat for me to watch Friends on a Friday night. Like, oh my God, it was like, if you're good all week, you would go watch like half an hour of TV or whatever. And now I'm literally using TV to try and train myself out of watching TikTok. So it's crazy. And that makes me feel like, as you said, it's just the way the world is going. And we should just not try to fight it. I also do feel like, in the time when we were growing up and the time we were in high school, it was what they call the golden era of television. It was in the time of Mad Men, Sopranos, Sex and the City, Breaking Bad, like all of those shows. And there is just nothing that holds a candle to those shows on TV that like, don't even fucking mention Euphoria to me. Don't even fucking mention any of those shows. Like, I love White Lotus as much as an ex person, but it does not compare to the TV of the golden era of like all those shows.
It's true. I also think too, the way that we used to watch TV is just different. Like, we can't recreate it. It's like you can stream it, which I love, and when I can't, I kind of flip. Right. But it's also like it was drawn out over X amount of months, and I mean, it's kind. Bravo's kind of the only.
Agreed, and I think that's why the Bravo fans are so strong. They're so strong because we still watch it in a way that is so unique, especially in today's day and age. And it's like, we have the community and we all watch it together and then we can all react to it. And I love that. Like, I really love all watching a show on one night and then the next morning being like, oh my God, did you see? And like freaking out in real time. And it's the best. It's the best. I know. I hope that never changes. I don't think it will. I think Bravo knows like that's the perfect way to do it. But like, I just enjoy it so much. And I even love with HBO when they do a Sunday night show, and it's like, it feels like the entire country like makes a nice dinner on Sunday, watches the show, and then we can all chat about it all week. And we love it. Yes. And I'm like, you guys, we love this. I know. Like, why do we mess it up?
But I remember years ago, I read a study that said the advent of television was like 1950 or its peak apex, whatever. And depression rates soared because Keeping Up with the Joneses now was keeping up with like lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Right.
But thanks to TV, we've been depressed for a long time.
We're very depressed.
So now there's just more. I don't know that we're like, I feel like we're probably the same depressed as we were in the 1950s, right?
No,
but there's
I think
just
we're
more studies.
I think we're more. I was listening to Scott Galloway yesterday, and he said a fact that was like, I'm going to completely butcher this. The rise in depression has gone up like 13% since basically smartphones or something like that. Yikes. And it's also disproportionately affecting teenage girls, they found out, which is really bad too.
It's even worse than boys.
I know, and I feel like even though it's really bad we have phone addiction, we're kind of fully cooked brain-wise. Yes. So at least we have a fighting chance.
I see what you're saying.
Whereas if
we're adults,
like, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying that social media doesn't make us feel bad about ourselves as adults, because it definitely does.
Oh, it does.
But I think the phone addiction thing scares me so much for young people because it's just can be so negative for them, and they can just, it's so much.
So true. It's so
and I
true.
don't know what you do. I mean, I actually saw some schools are really going phone free now. They're trying to do this for kids, like no phones in the school at all.
Like not even like can't even bring it into school and put it in your locker.
Yeah.
Nada.
Yeah, I think they like check them at the door or something, which I think is kind of dope, honestly.
I agree.
I think it's kind of good. I mean, I'm sure it would be an absolute nightmare trying to get your kid to agree to go to that school. But I'm sorry, I think that's better. Me, a non-parent saying what I think is better. But like, I just think that would be kind of amazing to give kids a break. Like, of course they think, oh, I want my phone all the time. But you know, my brother's a teacher and he's like, every kid has their phone under like the
how
thing.
Do they even do anything?
How do they get anything done? And by the way, sorry to be serious, but America has a literacy crisis, like a major literacy crisis. And I think it's because there are phones in schools.
100%.
And I get you need a phone for safety and whatnot, but like, check it at the door or like, you know, you have to we have to do something. We have to kind of like set guidelines on it. Otherwise it's
true.
It's just, I don't know. Are you going to do any guidelines for yourself? I'm going to try to really quit the first thing in the morning.
I like sisters in solidarity.
No,
I'll be there
we
with
must try.
Like
we
when I
must
do it, I'll be
try.
like, Tinx, I promised. I can't break my promise because it is so
Because I feel
hard.
guilty when I do it. I feel like bad when I do it. Like I don't feel guilty about most things. I am very like, do you, Tinx? Like you live your life. But when I wake up and I like wipe the drool and I like go on, I'm like, I need that hit. I'm like, I need that Insta. I'm like, how many followers? Like, I'm like, no. Like,
it's so true.
I think I'm gonna try to do.
Then what time?
I know. I think it's like I think like half an hour is fair.
So what do we do instead? Let's live it out. Like we get up.
I do a lot of putzing in the morning. Like I get up, I have I tongue scrape, I brush my teeth, I make a coffee, I drink a water, like, I kind of do some skincare. I think I'm going to try to do every possible little putzing thing before I reach for because obviously you get up and like, here's the distinction. Do we look at messages? Because I feel like maybe we could check our text, but not social.
I can't open my phone. I cannot be trusted.
I know.
Sometimes I'm like, how I black out. I'm like, how am I here?
I know your finger just goes to it. Like your thumb is just on the
like a Ouija
Instagram.
board.
I know. It's literally a Ouija board. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I've been on TikTok for 40 minutes and it's not yet 8 a.m. But it's crazy because sometimes I will just get back in bed and watch TikTok for 40 minutes and I'm like, dude.
And I tell myself, I'm like, it's for work. But
I know.
And also, girl,
I know.
I'm in this algorithm. It's so bad. Like, like the devil worship celebrity Illuminati shit?
Yes. I've been on that TikTok before.
I'm so in it.
I know.
And I know it's bad. And I'm like, I'm not a Comet Pizza person, but also.
I know. I know. I get on conspiracy talk all the time. It's so convincing.
Oh my God.
No, and it's the things that TikTok can make me believe. And then I'll like call my mom sobbing and I'll be like, do you think this is true? And she's like, you need to touch grass. And also for me,
touch grass.
A big like impetus for me to have this conversation with you today. And also I was thinking about it is like my friends that I went to college with are so not online. They are the least chronically online people. Like they don't know who JoJo Siwa is. I swear to God. Like they don't know who Emma Chamberlain is. Like they don't like, and I love them for it. Like
what a way to live your life.
No,
it's so healthy.
It's so healthy. And sometimes it's like me making a fool of myself and being like, well, like this and whatever weird TikTok thing. And they're like, what? And I was at this wedding and I just realized that my brain rot is so bad that I'll be like, well, Hawk Tua. And they're like, what? And I'm like,
Hawk Tua.
Yeah. And it's too much. Or I'll be like, show me to me, Rachel. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Just did that
and
today.
it's true. I speak in like tics now.
Yes.
Because of TikTok. And it's like, or I was like at the wedding and they were like, oh, do you want like some cake? And I was like, spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now. If you know that one. And they were like, what are you can't even like communicate anymore. And I was like, it's true. I can't. So I personally am going to commit to try to do half an hour. I think that's fair in the morning. I'm going to, just at least play out all the little tasks I can do.
Yes.
There's tasks. I have to put my contacts in. That takes me like 5 minutes.
Yep.
I always have to drink a big thing of water, do all my brushing teeth, brushing hair, shit like that. I'm going to try.
I'm going to go up on my roof and water my plants.
That's a really good task.
And it brings me joy because that counts, even though it's on a cement roof, it counts as nature.
And by the way, Dr. Andrew Huberman thinks that you should get outside as soon as possible.
No.
So as soon as possible after you wake up, you're supposed to get natural light in your eyes. It doesn't even have to be sunlight. It could just be natural light. So oftentimes, like if I'm really good, I will immediately jump out of bed, quickly tongue scrape, brush teeth, and then I'll go get a coffee outside because it's like a double whammy of you get a treat, which is the coffee, and then you get outside and you breathe the fresh air and you're light acclimatized. It's good for your like circadian rhythm or whatever.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna start doing it.
I'm gonna try. I really need to set some boundaries because I literally feel like I'm at the end of TikTok. I think I've gone through every single video.
There's nothing new.
Like there's nothing new where I'm just like, oh my God, it's too much internet. It's too much internet.
It is.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, what are your thoughts on JLo? Like, where do you stand on her? How do you feel her year is going? Like, what's your take on the tour and everything? Like, what are your thoughts?
I am so conflicted.
Okay,
she's a queen. She's JLo.
Oh wow. Okay,
but she's like just coming across so poorly right now.
I know.
And I don't know. First of all, I did not watch that crazy music video / movie she did.
No, neither did I. I don't think anyone should.
But I watched the documentary.
Same.
So it made me, but then it made me want to watch it. But then when they would show clips, I was like, ugh, I don't think I could watch that. Unless I was on like a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
we'll save it for that moment.
Yeah.
But she just, you know, I just watched the Celine Dion doc last night.
I can't wait to watch it.
Girl,
is it amazing? I
tissues,
can't wait.
boxes.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I'm
like,
so excited.
The way we should all invest in tissues with everybody watching this, it is heartbreaking. But sometimes I know people are like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm worth $500 million. And like, it's so sad for me. With Celine, it's legitimate.
It's actually sad, yeah.
But like, I was thinking a little bit about JLo during it. Like, oh girl, you were trying to go for this, but like, you don't have stiff person's disease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or syndrome. So I just feel like in JLo's cuts hurt to JLo. But to the rest of us, like, they don't really hurt that much.
It doesn't play.
So it feels like she's on this, like, she hired like some sort of crisis PR, and she's looking to revamp her image.
I agree.
And I guess that the image is that she's like a diva and she's not down to earth, but she's doing things that are so not real.
Exactly.
Like, we're not dumb. Like, you going to the Grove and feigning annoyance at the paparazzi, girl, you called them. And then taking not just commercial, an economy.
I know.
Seat or flight, whatever, from, what was it?
Naples to Paris.
Yep. That's actually a hazard to the public.
No, it is a hazard. And also it's so performative. I feel with the utmost respect that her PR is smoking black tar heroin. I'm like, I'm like, you guys have lost the plot if you think her taking a random economy flight.
Right.
JLo also went through the basic security line, says Steve. So
she didn't even have fucking clear.
Like she didn't have clear. Like she didn't have TSA. Like, be so serious.
Can you explain this to me? Like, what? Like, really? Do you think like this is archaic PR maneuvering?
I just don't think that and I just feel like. Here's the thing. I feel like it's such a missed opportunity because right now and for the past kind of like 2 years-ish, everyone's been so into nostalgia and like divas having their day. And I think like people love divas. Like we love like Mariah, like we love like whatever. We love a diva. But it's like, just be a diva. I think it's like what makes it so uncomfortable to watch is she's so desperate to be liked.
So
for like the wrong reasons. And she had so many bangers. And I actually liked the documentary and I did too. I didn't feel like a stan, but I felt like more warmly towards her after that.
Too.
And then after that, like everything just took a tumble. Like everything took a tumble. The weird clips online. I feel like whoever is advising her, like, is not aware of TikTok culture.
Yep.
They're very smart. They don't take any bullshit. When she did the whole thing about like, oh, I love orange drink and like my chopped cheese salad or like whatever from the bodega. Like
oh, I forgot about that.
Like,
that was so big.
Yeah.
Though.
And then with the thing with the hair, when she was like, I feel like I'm in the Bronx, and she was like, she was like, I like this one, like I'm Jenny in the Block again. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm making her British. She's not British, but but I don't know. I think wanting to be liked is so precarious for a celebrity of that size.
Yeah.
I think like if I were her, I would have just not done any of this shit. I would have gone to Vegas and cashed it in, baby. I would have done like JLo, like I would have called it like Waiting for Tonight, done all the hits, you know, worn all the outfits, I would have gone to see it. I think she did Vegas already, but like I would do it again.
I would totally see her at a residency.
Yeah,
totally.
that was the call.
But not this version.
Not this version. Not when she's so like out of touch. And I'm like, dude, it's like, yeah, but I did see an interesting take online that was like, look, she's not likable, but the amount of vitriol that she's received is like, 10x of what like R. Kelly received. And I was like,
ain't that the truth?
I was like, that's actually an interesting point, because I was like, she's annoying as hell, but why do we need to be this mean to her? But like, we're literally not that mean to like R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't see any videos of like people making fun of him constantly online. I'm like, I thought that was an interesting take and an interesting thought. I don't know. I think in our society, it's more acceptable to hate women. And it's just like, people are so quick to jump on the bandwagon.
And women are the most guilty of hating other women.
That's the issue also.
So bad.
It's so bad. And I don't know how we get out of that. Me neither. I talk about it a lot on my show of like, we need to be better to each other. You know, someone will call in and she'll say, oh, I got cheated on with this girl. And, you know, like this girl like cheated on my boyfriend. And I'll be like, that girl. And I'm like, wait, no, the guy, the guy, you know, like, whoa. But it's just so ingrained in us. And it's something we have to actively like catch ourselves at and remind ourselves and be gentle and like just kind of keep chipping away at it.
It's kind of like what we're going to do with the phones. You have to be like,
yes,
so aware.
We have to be so aware. Exactly. Like, it is so crazy. Like, the other thing I can think of, the recent example, you know, when the man was assaulting women around New York City and punching them.
Yes.
And it was like the language that was used.
Yep.
It was like there was a bunch of headlines that it was like girls are being punched. It was like as if it was their fault. And I didn't even think about it. And someone pointed it out and I was like, that is so accurate. It should be lunatic man punching women in the head.
I didn't even think of that.
It's so wild. It's so subtle, but it's just the blame. It's really crazy. We have to constantly just catch ourselves. And I think like a lot of it is rooted in scarcity mindset. Like there has never been enough for women. There has never been enough space or jobs or things or whatever. And like there still isn't, but that doesn't mean we can't be the change that we want to see and like slowly
it's so true
try to change it. Like, but I don't fault women either. Like, I'm not blaming women for the way that they treat other women, because it's all from the time we're born. We're like, well, only one girl is going to be the prettiest girl, and like it's not going to be, you know what I mean?
It's true.
It's kind of depressing.
It is so depressing. We gotta fix it.
This is a really crazy story.
Okay.
I spent $162. I'm so dyslexic. $162,000 on Frankenstein leg lengthening surgery to please my ex, and now I'm happier than ever. German model and reality TV star Teresa Fischer spent this money on Frankenstein leg lengthening.
I know, it's like an impossible thing to say.
To become more attractive to her now ex-husband. Her husband told her, if you do this for me, I will always love you and carry you in my arms. Oh. So she was 5'4", and now it added 5.5 inches.
Okay, so I have to say my immediate instinct, I want it. Where do I get it?
No, I want it too. I'm like, wait, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Also, not him saying he would carry her. Why would he have to carry her? She has the longest legs in the world.
She can run double the speed of him.
It's crazy.
She was deeply rooted in depression, but now it's her ex. So that's so interesting. I would love to be a little bit taller. I would love it. I would love to be 5'9". I think that's really fabulous. Oh, there she is.
Oh, yeah. Look at them. They're
she's
gorgeous
very tall.
gams.
Gorgeous gams. I wonder what they put in there. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I guess you could put like a little rod or something in there. You know, sure, why not?
I'm obsessed with long, skinny legs. It's like all I want in life. My wife has long, skinny legs. I'm so jealous of them.
I know. I have very short legs. I really have quite short legs. But I think do whatever you want, but just do it for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to do it for you. You have to do it for 100% you, because you just can't, I don't know.
I know. It's like, because I know like the Lily Allen of it all, it was like, yes, we agree with what she's saying, but also like her man is in charge of her phone. And the same with this.
Yeah.
Lengthen your legs, but not for a guy.
Not for a guy. I know. I have gone back and forth on getting a boob job my entire life.
Really?
And I actually booked one. I know, but
I'm so jealous.
But then I canceled it.
No, really?
I literally chickened out. Like, I lost like half my deposit because I don't know. I booked it and I was so excited. And then immediately after, I like went for my consultation on a Friday. And then immediately after, I kind of just had like really weird dreams. Like, I couldn't sleep. And I feel like when you do something like, you know, for when you book something like this, you should be only excited. And
yes.
I've spoken to people who are getting surgeries before, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait. They're like, think it's like Christmas or whatever. And I was like, the fact that I'm like breaking out in sweats doing it's just like, I feel like I'm not
You're
ready.
like subconsciously screaming, no.
Yeah. And I'm so, like I said, so pro doing anything for you. But I don't know. I feel like I've had small boobs my whole life and it's become such a thing and I love them now.
I like small boobs.
No, I do too. And I love them and I'm like love wearing all my little tops and I talk about it all the time to the girls. And I didn't cancel it because I felt like I'd be betraying the small boob community / my followers who have come to know me for that. Like, I think that I have no, like truly, I was kind of like, oh, I love myself so much. I'm like, now I can finally do it because I don't really want to. But then I booked it and I was like, well, if I don't really want to, why am I doing it? You know what I mean? It's like, it's complicated. It's a big decision. And I was like, I don't know. I also just got really like freaked out because I've never been under.
That's the other thing.
And I'm like really, really, really squeamish. And a lot of the dreams I were having was about like the cutting. And I'm just like, I'm very like, I cannot think about that at all. And
recovery's not nothing.
No, I know. No. And I also recently got into working out and they were like, well, you can't work out for 6 weeks. And I was like, I don't know if it's for me right now. But never say never.
Never say never.
I would do it again. But I might do it in the future rather. But I just kind of feel like it's not for me right now.
It's something I've actually recently been thinking about.
Yeah.
Just because I love no bra and I love
a no bra.
I used to have small boobs and then I gained weight and so I got big boobs and now like I lost the weight but now the boobs are still there and it's just like.
Yeah. Would you do like a lift or would you do just like a little implant?
I feel like I would do a lift.
Yeah.
I don't think I really know enough to know what I would have to do, but like I just want to like not have to wear a bra again.
No, totally. I love not wearing a bra. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite thing. Like I really, really love it.
It's a luxury.
It's a luxury and I love it.
It really is.
I also just think like I really do mean this. This is not to be cheesy. I think like all boobs are beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm very into like I'm into fake boobs if you want that, but I also think just like rocking whatever you've got is kind of like so sexy and just being like, these are my boobs. Like this
my
is
boobs are like, do your boobs hang low? Like they're really,
I like that.
They're really getting aggressive. They're getting in the way. I have things to do.
There you go. Okay, well we can get boob jobs and Frankenstein leg surgery. Okay, so I have a new segment which I'm really excited about. I feel like all we do, me after I just say I'm addicted to social media. All we do is talk about TikToks now.
Yes.
So I have pulled some TikToks. Oh, wait, we have one more story that I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
This was a late ad. So you're a Bravo fan, obviously.
Huge, obsessed. Like, I mean, it's an addiction.
You watch everything. You do it all.
Everything.
Okay, love. As I was coming in, I got a notification on my phone. Kelly Ben-Simone has called off her wedding to financier Scott Littner 4 days before the pair were supposed to tie the knot. An insider close to Ben-Simone says she's taking the time for herself right now to regroup during a difficult time. She said, I have decided that my 2 daughters are my priority and I won't be moving forward with this wedding. Yikes. In a statement to Page 6, Littner proposed over the 4th of July weekend in 2023 when the couple were vacationing. I read somewhere that it said because they couldn't come to a prenup decision or something. I don't know if that's true. I don't know, but that was on the headline that I wrote or I read it. That's why.
Fascinating. So first thing, I have to give snaps for people calling off weddings.
By the way, me too. I think
it's such a boss move.
No, it's a boss move. It's a boss move. And it's like, you can always say no. Like you can say no the whole time.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of being like, actually like last minute, gut instincts are guardian angels. I really believe that. Yep. And it's definitely a difficult thing to do, but I feel like nobody has ever regretted calling off a wedding.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
it's
if
true.
you're having that feeling.
I got married. Mm-hmm. I tried to postpone the wedding.
Mm-hmm. You did?
Not to my wife. To my husband.
Yes.
And the wedding planner was like, you postpone, same financial sufferings as canceling. So either get married, figure it out, or call it off. But I was not there in our relationship with to be like, we're done. So we went through with it. And like when Carl from Summer House called it off and he was like vilified, I'm like, no, like he saved them so much heartache down the road. So I think that of course, like I want to give props to people that have the balls to do it, but also it is like, what was it? 4 days?
4 days is crazy because you lose all the money.
Oh
and
my God.
And it's like it is a lot of money and it's a lot of time and it's like I think it's very brave to be like I actually know this isn't right.
It feels a little bit like a tantrum though too. Because 4 days, like, wow. So that was a fight. So what was the fight about? So if he wouldn't sign the prenup for her, he can fuck himself.
Do you have a prenup?
All the way. I did have a prenup with husbands, and I don't have a prenup with Tay.
Well, I feel like with a woman, it would be sensible anyway. It's,
I actually liked getting a prenup with husband.
Yeah.
Because even though it was benefiting him ultimately, I was like smart enough to be like, no. I'm also going to feel good about, like, if you get to feel good about this piece of paper, then I should also feel safe by this piece of paper.
Yeah.
And it helped in the divorce a lot. I think if we didn't have it, he would have been like kick rocks.
Yeah.
So
I think that they're incredible, me having never been married. But if I was to get married, I would do it. It just makes it easier. Like, why,
really
why
does.
would you not? It's people are like, well, if you're going to be with them forever, then fine, you don't use it. Like, it's fine.
Correct.
You just really never know how life is going to go. And anything you can do to front load to make your life easier, should anything negative happen.
It's so true.
It's just like, that's amazing. And it's just like, I can't remember which like relationship psychologist said this, but they were like, you should never marry anyone that you wouldn't mind being divorced to.
I read that recently. And I thought
and
that
I
was
love
so
that.
interesting.
And I think that's so beautiful. And
Yep.
I'm like, I think divorce is really, it's like this negative, bad word. And I'm just like, normalize divorce, normalize like
Totally.
like just doing it and calling off your wedding. Like, we have been way too anal about this stuff for so long.
Totally.
And I'm loving this new era where, oh wait, Kelly Bensimon speaks out after calling off a wedding. He refused to sign a prenup. I refuse to marry him.
Amen. Fuck him.
Fine. Then if you don't feel comfortable, then don't do it. I think that's great.
I support it.
I support that. She's always been a gal who knows what she wants.
Amen.
She loves to run in the street with the cabs. She loves to run in hot pants. She's fabulous. And like we stand.
Oh my God, I love her running in the street. She does that in the Hamptons. She does it everywhere.
She does it everywhere.
She's a gazelle.
She's a gazelle, and she absolutely loves to stop traffic with her running. I think that's great, Kelly. And you go, and we support you. And his loss, honestly.
Oh, wow. That says a lot that he refused. Also, I know it's so sexist, but like, whatever. We are at the detriment of a lot of sexist, things. I feel like a guy who won't sign a prenup, disgusting.
I know.
Disgusting.
Because it's like there's such a wage gap anyway.
Totally.
And we have think about the pink tax, like everything. Like, we are just at a financial disadvantage from the day we're born. And
Truly.
so I'm just like, I'm sorry. I think that's, like you said, pretty disgusting.
Yeah, you go Glenn at Coco.
Exactly. Okay, let's look at our TikToks that I have pulled for us.
Okay, great.
Oh, this one's kind of deep, but I'm wondering what you think about it.
Okay.
The potential you see in other people isn't real. It's actually the projection of what you would do if you were in their position.
The potential you see in people isn't real. It's a projection of what you would do in their decision. Thoughts?
So, I'm confused. I have 2 brain cells, it feels like.
Well, I feel like I thought this was so interesting because I'm a person who I like always feel like I see the potential in people, and I'm like, oh, like, or I think a lot of people run into that when they're dating, right? They'll see the potential and they'll be like, they could be amazing. And it's like,
yes,
that's not real. It's just a projection of what you would do if you were that person. And I was like,
got it.
I was shook by that because I'm a Virgo. I'm a first daughter. I'm very type A, and I'm like always being so like, well, that person has potential. That person has potential. But it's like, that's what you would do if you were them. You can't project your own thoughts onto what you think someone will do because that's not them.
You can't manifest for other people.
No, you can't. And you can't, like, I think a lot of times, especially with women who are dating men, they'll see a guy, they'll meet him, and they'll be like, he has the potential to be so great. But like, you can't date on potential.
Yeah, just you have to date the guy that is there.
100%.
Without the coaching or what have you.
Exactly. So I just thought that was so interesting. And I was like, damn, how many times in my life have I been like, that person has so much potential? But I'm just like, what I would do in that situation is this.
You know what? I'm thinking back on my relationships, a lot of potential.
Yeah, you're just like, and you're telling your friends and you're like, well, like if they did this or that, then they would be so great. Or if and it's just like, I mean, even my friends have been in that situation where they'll be like dating a guy and they'll be like, he just needs to like do this thing or just needs to like get this job and I'm like, that's what you would do because you're like a boss bitch.
Right.
But how do we know that he's ever going to do that?
Precisely.
I just thought that was interesting.
It's it's wise.
It's wise. This TikTok, you
learn
have
so much from TikTok.
You learn so much. Okay, let's have the next one.
When a man doesn't want to change, he will find any woman that is okay with his lifestyle so he doesn't have to grow up. And that's exactly why we find these men fumbling the bag with these high quality women, because you know why? High quality women have standards. They have standards that they will not lower, and they have boundaries. Don't ever think that you are too much for someone, okay? Because you're not. You will be enough for the right person. And if this man out there is making you think anything different, he's not the person for you. What that man does need though is a weaker woman, and that weaker woman is not you. He needs a woman that he's able to manipulate, control, and one that he can feel superior to. I promise you, don't change for anyone, because there's someone out there that's going to love you for all that you are and give you all that you deserve.
I really like that, and I was thinking about it in terms of Bravo, where it's like a lot. I always think about everything in terms of Bravo, but like there's a lot of men that don't want to be with certain women because they won't like validate their life choices.
Yes.
It's kind of interesting.
So she preach everything that she said. I will say that looking back at my like dating track record.
Yeah.
So two of my most significant relationships before Tay were with men. And the first one was a college boyfriend.
Okay.
And I broke up with him, and then was my marriage, and I broke up with him as well, technically. Yeah. I think they ultimately agreed with me, but I was one that like pulled the ripcord.
You were the one that did it.
And I remember saying to them both when I broke up with them, you need to date a girl like blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I wasn't trying to be like mean, but I was like, my boyfriend from college, I was like, you need to date a girl who is from a wealthy family, because he did not want to work and he did not have the drive, which, or you know what, maybe that was fair. I should have said, or also like has a kick-ass job, whatever.
Right,
but like, I was at that point thinking very traditional sense. Like I wanted a man who was going to like support me and our kids.
Right.
So I was like, we are not the match.
Right.
And he ended up dating a girl who was just that. And they're really happy together.
See, there you go. It really blew my mind. It's like men will find a woman who like validates the way that they want to live their life.
Yes. They don't really like... They don't want to change.
They don't want to change
the course of action for you.
No, totally.
They want you to fit into their vibe.
Yeah.
And the same with husband. I told him when we were done, I was like, you need to find a girl that is this, 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 this. And he didn't. And then he did. And they're married and they have a kid. So
there you go.
Exactly.
See? Honestly, women are so wise.
So wise.
It's actually crazy. I think that so many women have that experience where they're like, I wish I had pulled this other TikTok that I had saved. It's so funny that you said that, because they were like, men will never like break up with you. They'll just like, they always has to be the woman. And I have it saved and I'm going to post it on social. But like, it's so funny you say that. It's just like, they'll just, because they don't want to leave you, because you're just like, we're the life source.
Yes.
And then they'll be like, it's so fascinating.
Do you watch Perfect Match?
No, I haven't yet. Should I?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't watch these dating shows at all.
Yeah.
But Harry, is it Jousey?
Harry Jousey.
Jousey?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The epitome of that kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Like he will do everything under the sun to force you away. It's wild.
No, it's so crazy. And I even think about it with like Kyle and Amanda, where I'm like,
oh my God, don't even get me started.
No, don't get me started. Like it makes me so sad. And I'm like, I honestly don't know what is holding them together at this point.
Me either.
Because it's like he needs a woman who's going to just validate the way he wants to live his life. Like he's never going to change. Like if I could say one thing to her, I'd be like, he's literally never going to change.
Never.
He's 41 or whatever.
Something.
His personality is formed. Like he won't change now.
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't know. He needs someone who's going to be like, yeah, go out. Like that's fine. Let's go out together. I love going out. It's just so painful to see people who are so mismatched. Like they have fought every single season.
He drives me nuts. And he has for years.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
I know.
I think she deserves someone better. Let me be clear.
Me too.
However, I will say he's never like hidden who he was.
That's very true.
And I just want to say that like he really has never been like, no, honey, I really want to move to the countryside. Like any day now. Like he's always been so upfront about him like loving to party and whatever, and like never wanting to change and like not being ready to like kind of settle down. Like she was the one who was kind of like, no, we're getting married. No, we're going to be in a relationship. No, we should move to the countryside. I'm like, dude, he's like, it's like what I think what Maya Angelou says, like when people show you who they are, believe them the first time or whatever.
Exactly.
I'm just like, in what world did you think? That's kind of like the potential thing too. It's like,
exactly.
That's actually a good example of it, is like the potential that you see in people is just a projection of what you would do. And that's her saying, if I were him, I would realize I have a great wife, I have a great job, I can go move to New Jersey and like have a couple kids. But that's what she would do in the situation. The potential she sees in him is not real. Oh, that came so full circle.
It's so true.
So full circle. Okay. All right. We're going to do a few AMAs from our listeners.
Okay. I'm just starting to get into these AMAs.
Bernadette, 21. Hi, Tinx. I'm a new listener and absolutely love your podcast. It is so inspiring. Thank you. The only thing that gets me through my internship every day. Oh my God. Imagine having an internship. Imagine being so young. I'm so jealous of you.
I know.
Every day. LMAO. Anyways, I'm not sure if you've talked about this or done a podcast about this in the past, but I would love if you could talk about people pleasing and how as women, we are so conditioned to make everyone around us feel happy and comfortable before ourselves, and how we can manage that and draw boundaries, but still be helpful and supportive for our friends and family. Thank you so much. Love you. I mean, how much motherfucking time do you have?
Literally, the way this is like my weakest, my Achilles heel.
I know.
I'm such a people pleaser to such
It's so hard.
And but the thing is, when I do the pleasing, I resent the person, and that's
100%.
also that's so fucked up of me too. You know,
that's a really good point, and that's a way to train yourself out of it.
Yes.
Is to remember that you will genuinely feel resentful, and I've done that too. I do it a lot with like, because I'm like such a controlling host, like freak. Like I like to do it all, and then I'm just like, I get there and I'm exhausted, and I'm like, well, I hope you all like this weekend away. I hope you're having a good time. And then I was finally had to be like, yo, Tinx, like you're being a bitter bitch, and it's like not cool. It's like, don't do anything that you really don't want to do
for yourself,
out of the goodness of your heart. Like, you know, like if you really don't want to do something, you have to just check yourself and be like, take a work example. If you're like trying to do extra work to make someone at work like you,
right?
You can't do it because it's not sustainable.
No.
And eventually you will resent them. And also it will just like wear you down. I mean, I deal with this too. And I also just like never want to make anyone mad.
I know.
I'm working on that too, but it's like even in meetings sometimes I'll be like, someone will be like literally bullying me and I'll be like, that's fine. I just maybe like,
and I'm like, I'm sorry that I did something that made you feel like you need to bully me.
No, literally.
So frustrating. I feel like when it comes to people pleasing, it's not even that I want people to like me. I want people to not be mad at me.
1,010%.
It's exhausting.
1,010%. I really, really agree with that. I hate when people are mad at me.
It's the worst. And I always, if someone's mad at me, it's because I did something so dumb that like it wasn't even intentional.
No, totally.
And then I'm like, but I'm already there. I'm like, how do I explain this thing that they might think I did? It's like, how can I live like this?
The mental gymnastics are insane.
Girl.
And the truth is, when is the last time that someone has actually been mad at you?
I like literally
you can't remember. Exactly. And that's another thing that a really good trick I try to remind myself. Mm-hmm. I literally cannot remember the last time someone was like, Tinx, you did me wrong. So it's like the fact that we spend so much mental energy trying to, finagle whatever. And like, okay, I'll give you a good example. I was in London for 2 days and I'm from there, and I had only a day and a half. I spent one day with my family, and I was going to try to see 2 friend groups. And
this is always the kicker.
It's the kicker. And I was so jet lagged. I was getting sick. I was so stressed out, and I really needed to cancel the dinner. And I was in bits. I was beside myself, crying with my other friends. They were like, you need to cancel. You need to go to sleep. You're not well. And they were like, you're not a flaky friend.
Right.
This is not like a pattern for you. And then they were like, Tinx, in the same situation, would you be mad? And I said, absolutely not. I would never be mad. And they were like, okay, so these are your good friends. Like, think about it that way.
Right. And let's say somebody catastrophized. I love to catastrophize.
For sure.
Let's say somebody was really pissed. A, they'll get over it.
For sure.
B, if they don't, fuck them.
Literally. So it's like, I think that our advice would be to really play out these scenarios, because it's helpful to like bring yourself back down to earth. When I catastrophize too, I'm always like, what if this let's like play it out. What's the worst case scenario?
So
they're mad. It's okay. Okay, Lara, 30. Tinxie, I am currently finalizing a super messy divorce. Okay. Long story short, we fell out of love and though we promised we won't be like those other messy divorces, we ended up being messy. A lot of tit for tat, motions to fuck with one another, and even making sure the other one would hear about hookups. All of this said, we are finally coming to an end after 2 years of this. As tensions settle, I'm starting to find myself staring at him across the table and thinking, I would love to just fuck him one last time. I know this is some shit a therapist would be diving deep with, but where do you stand, especially with someone I had such a deep-rooted hatred with over the past couple years? Where do you stand on going out with a bang? P.S. I have explored the possibility that I'm still in love with him, and I promise it is not that.
Wow. Okay, it's giving Tom Schwartz with Katie wanting to fuck one last time.
I know.
Here's the thing. You have this passionate hatred towards him. That's because you love him. I mean,
I agree.
I was quite indifferent when I was getting a divorce.
That's right. I think the opposite of love is not hate, it's apathy.
Yep. So
don't do it.
Definitely don't do it. No. It's very dangerous.
I really just think you can't do it. And I have tried the sex with an ex thing, and it gets me into so much trouble. And like, it's just, you've been going through this for 2 years.
Yeah.
Take yourself to a spa for a weekend. like sage your house and start a new chapter. I promise you, I think it's a skip from me.
Yeah. You cannot. Self-control.
It'll open up a whole bag of worms. Okay, this is a fun one to end on. So we love to do fuck, marry, kills.
Love.
So Lauren 26. Okay, here are a few fuck, marry, kills from the girly group chat. Also, rich mom walking to major city soon. Yes. How about Nashville? My girls and I came to your walk in New York last summer. We made a trip out of it. So fun. Okay. Oysters, clams, mussels.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to fuck oysters. Sorry. Fuck clams. Mm-hmm. Can I, like, is it like any clam or is it like a specific
You
clam?
can pick.
Like, I like those, like the steamers.
Yes.
I'll fuck them.
For sure.
Like to rip off the bellies and only eat the wiener.
Yes.
You know?
Very yummy.
So angry sex with clams. I'm going to kill mussels.
Wow.
Sorry. I know. I think I like them. And then I actually don't.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
And then I'm definitely going to marry the shit out of oysters.
Damn.
They're so good.
You love them. I saw a really weird TikTok. I don't even want to talk about it in front of you, but like I used to be the biggest oyster queen, and I saw a weird TikTok and I never have been able to get over it. And so I'm going to kill oysters. I like fried clams, so I'm gonna go. I love a fried clam.
Okay.
I'm gonna marry them, and then mussels are the ones where it comes in sauce with the fries,
and it's like a little orange kind of. It's
I
like
like
a
that.
frite.
Yes,
that's a mussel.
frite. That's what it is. I will fuck them. That's good. Okay. This is hard to do. Paige, Hannah, Sierra.
Oh my God, I have to go.
I know I have to go too. I
refuse. I actually refuse.
I actually refuse to.
Yeah.
I
marry them all.
Marry them all. Marry them all. Marry them all.
Don't you just die for them?
No, I die for them.
No, like I'm like not normal about them.
I love them all so much. They're so cool. They're all just so fabulous and beautiful, and like they are the faces of Bravo to me. I'm like, you are like the queens of Bravo.
Me too.
Like, wow. I mean, Hannah's not Bravo anymore, but still, like, you know, she's born in Bravo.
That's the power of Hannah.
And she's just killing it. And she's so hardworking. Like,
I know.
Every time I go on Instagram, she's like, has a new funny video. And I'm like, how are you this funny every day?
I know.
Like, it's actually insane how funny she is every day.
I know. Oh my God. I love them all so much.
I love them all so much.
I have like such a strong crush on them. And it's weird because like,
and I didn't want to like objectify Sierra at the reunion, but I was like, I'm sorry that you're crying because you look literally so beautiful and your body's perfect. I'm sorry. I'm objectifying my friend. She's literally stunning.
I know.
I'm like, get her a runway. Like I'm sorry. I want to see her on the runway.
Oh my God. I had lunch with her and she wore this outfit. I was like, I can't even talk to you.
No. They're like they're three of my favorite people. And Paige is obviously like, no crumbs.
She is just utter perfection. I think she might be my favorite Bravo celebrity of all time.
She just has given us so much. And she's just, I love to see her thrive. I love to see her winning.
I love her.
Love it. Okay, easy one to end on. Muffin, croissant, donut.
This is hard. Not because I love, because I don't love.
You don't?
I'm not a pastry girly and I'm not a sweet girl.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I feel very fortunate.
Oh my God.
I guess I'm going to marry a croissant because it's savory.
Yeah.
And then I like a muffin top.
It's fun.
So we'll fuck that. And then we're going to kill donuts.
Damn.
Crazy, right?
I'm going to marry a donut. I love donuts. I was actually talking about how much I love donuts in the car this morning with my Uber driver. Don't ask me why.
No, I kind of need to know how you got there.
Because we drove past the Krispy Kreme in Times Square. And because when we were coming in, and I was like,
Krispy Kreme makes me feel something, even though I technically don't like them. I like them.
No, it's so good. And also, my followers know this, but in LA, there's this place called Sidecar Donuts that I order from like every time I'm about to get my period. It's so good. You need to go. And then I love a croissant. I'm gonna fuck a croissant. Muffin, I could take or leave.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
kill it.
Taylor, you've been an absolute joy, delight, stunning angel from heaven. Where can people find you?
Okay, so I have a podcast called Taste of Taylor. New episodes drop every Thursday. I also have a daily show called The Taylor Strecker Show. It's on Patreon. Patreon.com/The Taylor Strecker Show. And then please follow me on social media at Taylor Strecker on Instagram. And like TikTok, girl.
You don't do it?
I'm trying. I mean, follow me, but like, let's lower our expectations.
No, follow her up the wazoo, and then we'll all get it going. It's let's do it. We are millennial TikTokers.
Yes.
I'm really up the send all the follows out. Listen to her podcast. She's absolutely fabulous and a dear friend. And it was an honor having you on.
Oh my God, girl, you have no idea.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, send us an email, all the things. Love ya. Bye.